This is Pastor Justin Roberts. Just going to run through quickly an earthquake summary. Start off with this graph right here. This is the number of red alert earthquakes. A red alert earthquake is one that can cause damage to people or to property. And as you can see, the number here, 14, which will be our latest entry, and I record this data, so it's the number of dangerous earthquakes in the last 30-day period. So it is recorded every day, and we can see that during the period between Christmas and like New Year, we had quite a quiet period after this part here where Saturn was on the opposite side of the sun and it lined up and it caused quite a buzz down to Earth. And it's quiet here after Christmas to New Year. And then as you can see from, just before New Year until now, 7 days, we've had a real good ramp up, here are the numbers down here. You can see we dropped on the 26th, 27th, 29th, and then 10th. And then you can see it ramped up until we have a number 14. One of these earthquakes is believed to be by the Western media a nuclear detonation, but it's on the map, so it's staying there. And as if, it is like a kind of sign, really, to add to the numbers, to add to the data. If you see all these numbers going up, then we're getting closer to the time of God's passing over. Now, let's have a look. That was the daily. Now, this is the monthly average. This is the amount of red alert earthquake readings taken, added together, and then divided by themselves to give you the month average. As you can see there, December was around 11.5 maybe. So you can see January started off big because the actual numbers taken readings, we'll just go over. You can see the date, today's date, and you see number of red alert earthquakes in the past 30 days is 14. Number of red alert earthquakes in the past 7 days is 6. So we had 6 red alert earthquakes in the last week, and there you have the total amount of earthquakes. That is just all of them. So 1,549. And by looking at these, this recent data, last couple of months, you can see what's what. We're in kind of a medium period. Once this 14 number starts getting above 20, then that's the time where, you should be concerned. And if there is nothing that's causing it, then, it's even more concern. There's a graph just showing the total amount of quakes. It's very volatile, so it's not a very good graph to look at. But in the case of the Corona God closing in on us, I fully expect the total amount of earthquakes to rise as well as the total amount of red alert earthquakes to rise as well. And of course, the month average will go. It might, a month average wouldn't be a very good one to look at unless you were updating it every day. And another thing to add on this one here, you see this is like a mediocre time, and these numbers are all around 6. But after that Saturn was passing between Saturn and the Sun, it pinged Earth here in May last year, but it never really settled down to this level. Here it's remained a strong average. And now, we're in January now, 7th. But as we get to January the 14th, see here I've made a video about this. As we get to January the 14th, Mercury is going to pass between us and the Sun. And we can just show you what I mean exactly. Okay, here we have the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th. You see Mercury passing between us. 13th, 14th, and there you have it. And then it passes back out again. So during this time, this period of time, the next week or so, it should peak slightly. So the earthquakes should rise up slightly, even though they are at a elevated height at the moment. 14 mark is pretty high. I mean, that's the number that I would have given it in my prediction. And here is that projection right here, 12. Well, we're in the 14 mark now, so whether Mercury will add to this in the next week or so, you just have to wait and see. But Mercury makes its conjunction in a week's time, so it should increase the earthquakes. So that is basically it for a summary. At normal level, but rising, as you can see from this, and expect the earthquakes to stay at this risen level for another week or so, or in the case of Mercury pinging us, then expect them to be elevated to a new level, and possibly a couple of bigger earthquakes popping off towards the 14th of this month. I've been Pastor Justin Roberts from End of the Age Bible Prophecy. God bless you all. Enjoy your weekend, but keep watch. Amen.